card number 2. For this, you will need a folded card like we did before, score down the middle, fold it, and then you need a piece of card, scrap card, it could be a cereal box or anything that is the same size as one side of your card. So this is half of A4, so it's A5. And then what I did was I measured across to find the halfway point. I found an old jar lid and I've drawn down 6 centimetres along that line from there to there. You can put it wherever you like, but that I wanted to do a 6 centimetre drop for each bauble, because we're going to make baubles, so that I can get a little lid and a little bow on above it. So I put my lid down, I drew around it with a pencil 3 times equally, and then I cut it out. The way I do that is by finding a sharp object like this end of the paintbrush, putting a hole through the middle of the card like this, and then you take a pair of scissors and you cut across like that shape, like that. And then what you do is you can get in with your scissors, that's the easiest way to do it, and cut out those circular shapes. Now you can do this with a knife if you want to, but I find this the easiest way to do it. You can cut out individual circles, so you can just have one circle on a piece of card that you can use repeatedly, but I'm going to do all 3 at once, you see. So that's the preparation card bit. So you've got 3 equal circles. You can have different shapes if you want to, it's up to you. And we're going to work on the card in landscape format this time. So put your card down flat, nice clean surface, clean brushes, clean paints again. And we're just going to put that piece of card over the top, and I'm going to hold it down with a piece of tape. So get it in the middle so you can see what I'm doing. So make sure it fits nice and straight, and then hold it down with a bit of tape. Now I need 2 bits of tape. I'm just using some old tape from the last card. Hope you can hear me okay. It's a beautiful day here in Llangedog. The sun is shining on my vegetable beds. Okay, so we got our 3. I'm going to put some tape down the bottom as well, because I want this to be a really tight fit so that no paint gets underneath those stencils. So I'm going to use a sponge. So I've got some natural sponge here which I've just broken into bits to make it easier for me to get into these areas. You can use this stuff, you can use normal household sponges, you could use a bit of rag scrunched up, you could use a bit of tissue scrunched up. There's all different textures to be got from all of those items, so try them out, try different ones out, but for today I'm just going to demonstrate using a bit of natural sponge. And what I've got is a group of colours here. I've got some orange, I'm going to use orange, and I'm going to use green, and I'm going to use purple. And then I've got some colours to mix with them up here that I've mixed up. So I've mixed a bit of green with a bit of blue, I've got a tiny bit of green with a bit of yellow, and a bit of purple mixed with a bit of red. I've already got them all ready to go. So I'm just going to literally dip in. So let's go with, I'm just going to wet my sponge a little bit with some clean water, and I'm going to go in with the orange. I'm just dipping it into, can you see, like that? Alright, and then we're going to just start by using the middle one. So hold the card down so it's as flat as it possibly can be, and just dab your orange over go over the edges as well as in the centre. You see, that's so lovely. So with the orange I've decided that I'm going to put some yellow, so I'm just going to pick up a bit of that yellow. It will mix with the orange that's there already, and I'm just going to dab in some yellow just to cover those bits that are left white, like that. Now if you want to leave gaps, leave gaps. It's quite nice to have some gaps, but that's the first one. Now you can either wash off your sponge, or you can move and use another bit of scrap sponge. I'm just doing this for speed. So this time I'm going to just dampen, don't soak the sponge, just dampen it. And I'm going to go into this green colour here, like that, can you see? So you can use any colours you want, again, and again just dab. And we're looking for a bit of texture on these baubles, that's why we're using the sponge. So don't get rid of all the pigment. So into the mixed colour, that's a bit of blue in there with a bit of this green. Okay, and again just dab very lightly onto your bauble. Don't forget to go over the edges, just be careful when you're going near this edge, and I'm going to leave that like that. Again, I'll move on to a different coloured sponge. This time I'm going to use purple. So again, just dampen your sponge ever so slightly, squeeze it off, go into the purple. Hope it's wet enough. It should be wet enough. Okay, and then hold it down and dab over the edges. Don't forget the edges. Pick up the mix. Now into that one I'm going to take a little bit of red. So I've got a bit of red. Again, just be careful over your edges, like that, and into that. Make sure you go up to your edges because you need to see the form against. Just going to pick up a different bit of red just to get it a little bit stronger, like that. I think that'll do. Okay, so if you've used watercolour, you can just put your sponges to one side and wash them off afterwards. They'll just be fine. Keep your fingers nice and clean. Can you see? Have a wipe or something. Dry it off with a hairdryer if it needs it. Okay, let's reveal. So carefully take these off. And there we have 3 baubles. Okay, so again, you can add silver, you can write on them, you can write Merry Christmas on one, Happy New Year on another one, underneath, on top, whatever. You can use pen, you can use paint, you can basically do what you want. But for this, I'm going to use, for my next stage, I'm going to use a rigger brush. Now I've got a rigger brush. If you haven't got one, you can use a detail brush. And I'm going to put in some hanging ribbons, but I'm also going to put in, with a smaller brush, the top of the bauble. Okay, so I'm going to do this in a slightly different colour. I'm going to use a blue, so one of my lighter blues, either Carillion blue or a cobalt blue, mixed with a bit of Payne's grey. Now if you haven't got Payne's grey, so it was Payne's grey, you can use a bit of black and it will give you a sort of dark grey colour. Now if you want to use silver or gold, they're normally topped with silver or gold, you can use those. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put this shape down. So it goes like that. then just add a little bit of something like purple or something like that for the central section. Again, if you feel like you need to draw these, then please draw them and then you can fill them in. Alright, but that's all we're after, is that sort of shape. Alright, so let's repeat this. Bit of purple in the middle. That just gives you a sort of highlight colour, and then go back to the grey. You know, and nice and loose, don't be too fussy. They don't have to all be exactly the same. The nature of the colours being a bit different and the drawing being a bit different makes it look homemade. Otherwise they just look like printed cards, which is a shame. They need to look homemade. And there we have our, and you can put little marks on these ones if you want to. Okay, and then at the top we're going to put ribbons. So this is, you know, you can do this precisely or not. So we're going to put a bow. Again, just draw these really lightly. With a pencil. If you feel like you need something to guide you, just draw them really lightly. They don't need to be perfect again. They can be different, like that one was. I'm using a rigger brush. You use whatever you please and use whatever colours you want. If you want to make your ribbons different colours, then do. Now the easiest way to paint a line is to, I'm going to zoom in on this so that you can see it really close, is to draw it horizontally. Your hand works better left to right rather than vertically, so do it horizontally and you'll get it straight. Now it doesn't matter if it's not straight actually, but you know, if you want it to be, I'm going to do it slightly wobbly. And again, because we're working across, put your paper the right way and then you can be more careful. And you can thicken these up or thin them down or whatever you want to do, but that's the way to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to continue with the purple theme, and I'm just going to put these other marks in. And I'll just do this. Be careful, it's probably better that you work from top to bottom rather than from bottom to top like I just did, so that you don't make a mess. And put these marks in like that. And you know, if you can see your pencil marks, and you can just wait for your watercolour to dry and just rub them out. Okay, so I've got, if I just quickly get 1 second. I've got a whole load of Posca pens. These are Posca pens. Yeah, they're brilliant. They're acrylic paint in a pen. And this is gold. I also have silver, but they come in a variety of colours. They're absolutely brilliant. They last forever. And you can refill them, which is another blessing. You can get new nibs, you can get refillable contents, so they're great. So you can choose to, you have to shake them like this to get them going, because they're the press markers, press activated markers. So you can see there. So I'm just going to use a bit of the card that I've cut out. I'm just going to get the marker going. Oops, you can see that's what happens if you press too hard. It comes out in a blob. So I'm just going to use that. So I'll come back to my card. I'm going to move my paints out of the way. And then you can put some details on here. So you could easily just do some dots, random dots, and you can put different colours on. You can do different shapes. You could do little stars, whatever you please. But it just gives an added element to this little bauble. Alright, you don't have to do this. I quite like them as they are, you know, but again, it's down to personal taste. Everybody has different flavours. But you can see how nice that looks now, and it gives it an extra bit of structure. These pens come in all different sizes, so they even go up to sort of really chunky chaps. That's the nib size, you can see from there. Again, try them out. They sell them in the art shop in Cardiff. You can get them online. I think they've got them in the range now as well. So again, let's try some, what should we do? Let's think now. I'll do some zigzags. So start at one end, like that, and just do some zigzags, like that. Again, you can draw these out with a pencil if you're not too happy with going in freehand. I've got a nice fine, these are 0.7 size, millimetre sized. So again, oops, let me just get this going. I think this is an older one, so it's probably run out. Let me try another colour. Let's think. What should we do? Green. Let's try that. These. You can also get them in metallic colours. That one's working. Okay. So this is a metallic colour, so it'll have some sparkle to it. So again, like I said though, I like them as they were. I'm just showing you what can be done to enhance them. I've also got Sharpies, and they are, you know, great. So the opposite colour of green, the complementary colour of green is red. So let's put some red. What should we do on this one? Some little star shapes maybe. So you can just go in with a Sharpie and put some little stars on. But just remember, with the pen, because it's permanent, that's it. Once you've done it, you can't get rid of it. So just be aware of that. Go in with, like I said, go in with a pencil mark first, and then at least if you make a mistake, you can rub it out. That's quite pretty. I don't mind that, actually. You might really not like it, but it's up to you what you do with your own designs. And again, like I said, you can vary these marks that you make and make different. Let's go for another one there. Okay, right, so I'm happy with that. Again, lettering. You can actually get stickers now that you can stick on. So you could go to the Range or somewhere like that and buy Merry Christmas stickers if you're not confident with writing words on, or you can just put your words in the middle in the card itself. Okay, I'm just going to pull out a bit so you can see the whole card. So that's card number 2, folded, looks like this. Let's see if we can just pivot the camera here so you can see what it looks like that. This was card number 1. I didn't show you actually standing. So now we've got 2 designs. Let me just pivot. Can you see those? Now, lovely designs. Nice and colourful. There's no reason why you can't put some glitter on them or whatever. The other thing as well is with the colour, if it's strong, it's more likely to pick up when you print or when you photograph your cards. So just be aware of that as well. Okay, hope you enjoy it. Take your time, enjoy the process of making designs, and remember, they're here forever. You could use these year after year after year. Okay, enjoy.